Hello, my name's Sean Lambert, and I'm here to give a quick review of my first few hours playing the Great War Western Front. Got it during the Steam Winter Sale. Is it good? Is it trash, like some people say? Or is it somewhere in the middle? And that's kind of my initial feeling, is it's somewhere in the middle. I think there is a good game in terms of the battles. Um, if I were to recommend this game for anyone, it would be people who like to play skirmish battles for World War One. I think that feature is really, really good. I think the battles are great. I think the campaign is okay. It's okay. Is it a good representation of World War One? Kind of. Um, I mean, it does feel grindy and difficult to break through hexes. There is this weird national morale thing that is the easiest way to win. So if you want a more challenging game, you might want to turn that off. Um, and it just, I don't know, the campaign feels a bit clunky to me. I haven't played enough of it to say, I haven't played through the whole campaign. I've played a couple years maybe, and I've been trying very hard to not abuse the national morale system. I should have just turned it off, but basically I just give away I win every once in a while to make sure the game keeps going. The tech tree is, well, it is what it is. Let's open up my campaign. I don't even really remember where I got to. Let me just open it up. I think I'm in 1915, so I'm pretty early on. The campaign starts in like at the end of 1914. You don't get to play the frontier battles, which one of my problems with the game is you don't get basically the most interesting year of the war in some ways. And then you got to kind of end of the war. But overall, the game is fine. So as you can see here, I think I'll just auto resolve that. It's just a loss. Nothing you do about it. But the kind of the silly stuff is stalemate. The silly stuff is the national morale thing and the money. The money system doesn't work as well as you would think. And the supply is everything in battles, so like having a lot of supply is amazing. And the money is only there to pay for battles. So you got to pay some money if the enemy attacks you and if you attack the enemy. So you can really only afford to do a few battles a turn, either attack or defense. So you kind of got to be prepared for the defense at all times. Be prepared for 3 or 4 attacks potentially on the defense. And so that really lends itself to attacking only where you think that you can break through the enemy. So like last turn I won a battle here, so I got 1 star down, but I still have to win another entire battle. And you can only fight 1 battle per turn per army.
On a de nouveaux ordres.
So if I wanted to completely break this hex, I now have to hit it again. Which is frankly kind of a pain. I don't know how I feel about it. But I mean, that's the game's design, but I don't know if it's right or wrong. It just that is what it is. When you have hexes like this in a World War One game, you're always going to have some trade-offs. So like, do these points down here are very heavily defended for what they are, but they're only defended because I attacked it and I didn't win. I didn't really understand how the battles worked at that point. If I were to fight the battles of turn 1 or 2 over again, I probably would have won them massively with what I know now, which I think is cool. That as you learn the game, you kind of experience what they did in World War One. So from that perspective, the campaign is smart and it's very good. and it really does give you the World War One experience. Um, I don't know. I think it is a really good simulation of World War One in some ways. Um, the battles are much more arcadey than you would think. Uh, they're kind of like Total War battles, but they're fun. They're fun. They're time consuming. So if you really are into the game, you will dump a ton of hours into it because each battle can take you like
We
a
hebben
good
nieuwe
30
orders.
minutes. They have time limits, so you can set the time limit, but they take you the whole battle. It's hard to win before the end. But they're fun. They're a lot of fun. There's also this research tree, which is probably the worst part of the campaign. I'm not a fan of this research tree in one bit. I don't like its design in a lot of ways. How trench warfare has artillery, right? You have mortars and stuff here that are blocked in the trench warfare area, but then engineering unlocks your long range artillery, which is very very powerful. Arguably, the most important thing in the game is to get the long range artillery. Um, Especially, the upgrades to the light artillery are very powerful early game. Um, I think you can't win battles without it in some ways, but at the same time, you kind of want the other stuff too. It feels not. It doesn't feel very fun to have to trade them off, especially because as this tree goes on, there's not really bonuses that increase your research level um, very early. So like you can rush this one, but that only doubles your research awards for completing events. It doesn't do the base turn one doesn't really do it. Um, so then you're looking at some of these other ones, and it's like you're not getting the ability to boost your research in any way, which I think is one of the core tenets of a research tree, where things get more expensive as you go down it, is that you have to have some way to boost your science points. And so far in this game, I have not found that way, or at least I have not gotten more than one science point per turn in this game. Now, if that is just maybe I've rolled some bad events, maybe eventually one of these events will actually be good. Um, but for the most part, they give you national will and stuff like that. Um, so I don't think I don't think any of them have given me a point so far, but maybe I'm wrong. And I don't know how these events really work, if they're scripted or if they're random. But if that's the case, then that if they are random, then that's kind of cool. But I do wish you had some way to control it yourself. I wish you could influence whether or not you're getting points. So that's my only issue with the campaign. But the battles are great. They're a lot of fun. I really enjoy the battling, and I think the skirmish mode in multiplayer is a lot of fun. I played it with one of my friends for like 4 hours straight. You 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 get a lot of points, so you can build a big army. So we tried a bunch of variations on basically like late war, early World War II strategies, like big tank armies attacking each other, and I I won. Oddly enough, I won them. Not because I feel like I knew what I was doing or I was super highly skilled, but I had a hold fast and then counterattack strategy, and the guy I was playing against had more of an aggressive early game strategy, and we always have this clash of styles. So in this particular game, it just so happened that the hold fast strategy was more effective in the two battles that I won, and then the one battle that he won, he just had such a massive defense, and the map was so bad for me that I couldn't push him. So that one ended in, I call it him winning, but it was really a stalemate. Like nobody really pushed the lines one way or another. Um, as opposed to the ones that I won, I completely took everything. So I actually like won them. And we were playing 30-minute maps. I think if you're playing multiplayer, you might want to give it a few more minutes than that. Maybe go up to 45 minutes. Because 30 minutes did feel like you were kind of running out of time to do all your objectives. Just because of the preparation time of each attack, you need to, fully soak them with your artillery and then send in your infantry. If you can never send in unprotected infantry, you have to use combined arms at all times. And if they pop their tanks, you have to use either air power or your tanks to kill them. So it is always this cat and mouse game, which is a really great mechanic when you're playing against a human. So that was my experience with multiplayer so far, and probably about half my playtime in this game is actually playing multiplayer. You're probably not going to find a lot of like auto match multiplayer yet, because it doesn't seem to be a very popular feature. Most people are more interested in the campaign game. But if you do have a friend that likes playing RTS games, highly recommend trying out the multiplayer battles. Very, very fun. They're a little wonky to set up. The UI, we found a few bugs when we were playing them. The UI is not perfect yet, but overall they're really fun. And I think the campaign can be fun. I think there's a lot of potential in the campaign. It probably needs a little bit more time in the oven to iron out the tech tree, but the way it makes you feel about the war, about your place in the war, is I think the biggest win of this game. Is it really does make you, it puts you in the shoes of the generals of World War One in a way that you are learning constantly. You don't know what to do. You feel like you don't know what to do. And I think my recommendation is actually to play the game that way, to go in with no preparation. Don't read guides or anything like that. Just go in and lose a few battles and learn from your mistakes. And I think the game will give you the World War One experience. And I think that's really cool. There's no other game that really does that to the same extent. The other World War One games that I've played, there's a little bit of the learning curve, but it's different when you only have the strategic level map. It's different when you have both levels. It really it's really fun, and I like the mishmash of scale, the thing that Total War has always been so famous for. It really can work in a video game format. It's very difficult, so this is actually quite the achievement to get it to work, especially in a World War One style game. And so I think that's a really good achievement. I think this game has been unfairly negatively reviewed. I think it is a great game, but it doesn't really, it didn't sell itself particularly well early on, and I don't think the developers have kept up with the complaints about bugs and stuff like that. It's not a terribly buggy game, but the bugs that exist, just they needed to communicate. Okay, we're gonna have a big bug fix patch at some point in 2024, maybe. Instead, they pushed out an update kind of pretty close to when it came out in August, and then they just have let the game sit since then. And I think it is in a really good state. It's just when people complain as much as they have with this particular game about features and bugs, I think it does warrant some sort of response. People just expect that nowadays, that the developer stays hands-on with it after it releases. But that said, it is a very complete game. There's nothing that I would personally add to it. The only things that I would do is I would take some stuff out of it. I think that the tech tree is probably too long. You're never going to finish it all. And maybe just bring down the cost or increase the ability to get research points. And that would make the campaign immediately more fun, just being able to research more stuff. But the problem with tech trees is they always tend towards that min-maxing thing. So in this context of a strategic game, I actually disagree with the whole concept of even having a tech tree. So my feeling on it would be remove the tech tree altogether. Your reinforcements are your reinforcements. You have available what you have available, and that stuff is not going to change. It's not decided by you. It's decided by the scientists or the other guys. Your job is like you're more of an army level commander. You're just employing the stuff that you have, and that would be more fun, in my opinion. Again, that's just one person's opinion. Don't take it to heart, but I would love to take the tech tree completely out of the game. Just have things unlock on a time basis. But the game does work the way it's designed, and it does play very fun. So I do recommend it. It might sound like parts of my review are negative, but I do actually recommend it. This one gets a thumbs up. So if you get a chance to pick it up on a sale, especially, I think you will find it to be very, very enjoyable. But until next time, I hope to see you back in another video. Till next time, see ya.